Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to day 32 of our Vine Health updates. I'm coming to you much later today, but again, I'll explain why. Anyway, so Vine Health updates are meant to provide facts and not fiction, bring highlights from things that have happened in the last 24 hours, and sort of help to answer questions, helping you to survive and thrive and just live your best life during this very, very, very challenging time. So I'm going to talk about a few things today. I'm going to talk about, I think towards the end, I want to talk about how to handle grief. You know, as the pandemic goes on, I mean, we now almost everybody knows someone who has lost their battle with the coronavirus, and it's a difficult time. And in fact, I think one of the reasons why I'm coming on later today is that I know someone, I lost someone that that I know quite well, and it's quite difficult. So how do you handle grief? I mean, many of us have lost people in the past, but because it's coming thick and fast, and either you know someone or you know somebody who knows somebody, how should we handle grief? So we shall talk about that, and that should be good. I will also answer questions that have been posed, and also the issue of vitamins. So talking about supplements, I mean, I used to do lots of videos about supplements before, and I want to sort of highlight, talk about vitamins again. I mean, not to say, of course, I do a vitamin line. This is one of our limited edition vitamin D. But I want to talk about vitamins generally, and then, we'll wrap it up from there. So in terms of, and I want to say thank you again to all the requests I've been getting. I can't answer them. I'm going to get around to answering them all. But please, if you're sending me a friend request, please make it a duty to like Vine Health, because this is the main platform through which I share my ideas. Please like Vine Health. Please share this page with a friend. We're increasing our reach, and I want us to continue to increase the reach as well. So thank you for everyone who's watching and who watches after. I know that people don't get to watch it when I'm live, but they get to watch it later, which is fine. And we might have to modify as we go along. So what's happened in the last 24 hours? I mean, a lot has happened, as we know, but we will just focus on the highlights, really. I'm going to talk a little bit about the United Kingdom, a little bit about the US, and a little bit about Nigeria. These are the main areas. I mean, it's happening everywhere, but we'll talk about the main ones, and then answer questions. So the United Kingdom. No, I was talking a few days about how come Black people are dying, from coronavirus. How come so many Black people are dying? I mean, I lost somebody yesterday. We had a nurse. So many Black people are still dying with the coronavirus. Why? So the United Kingdom has decided to launch an inquiry into just trying to launch a review into why people from ethnic minority backgrounds are disproportionately affected by the coronavirus. Disproportionately. And people are beginning to get suspicious as people are dying, what's going on. So I think that review will be very important to have, because it's getting quite worrying, and very young but Black people, so people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, are losing the battle with COVID-19. So so we should be expecting that. Over the last 24 hours up until yesterday, we lost another 761 people, bringing the deaths in the United Kingdom to close to 13,000. Fantastic, really, to be honest. So that's where we are. But on a bright note, in the United Kingdom, there's this gentleman called Captain Tom Moore, who's turning 100 in a few weeks, who has walked 100 lengths of his garden and has raised over 13 million for the NHS. I think that is fantastic, and that's a nice positive out of this situation that is so grim. So yes, I mean, shout out to a 100-year-old man who's raised 13 million. I mean, this is a positive thing. I think this is amazing. And, he completed that today and raised 13 million. Maybe we can use the 13 million to buy some PPEs for for people that need them. That would be a good way to use the money. But well done to him, which is wonderful. And then also the US is interesting. I know that Trump is going to lay out plans on how to reopen the economy today. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to say about reopening the economy of the United States. I know that countries are suffering, but we're just all watching. But I know that there's a lot of deaths still going on in the United States. I've not really kept a really close eye on their numbers. But again, we want to make it positive and helping you to thrive, not to really sit in the sort of loss situation. Nigeria, they're killing people. So the army, I think it's the army, they're trying to enforce this lockdown. And in the process, 18 people have been killed, trying to enforce the lockdown. This is the reason why I keep saying that I do not think that Nigeria is a country that should be extending lockdown, because the people who are suffering are the ones who are poor. The people who cannot afford to stay inside their estates, lock their gate, lock the external gate, and get the army to watch them. So again, it's not too impressive. We now have 407 cases in Nigeria. 128 have been discharged, and there's now been 12 deaths. One of the doctors, we lost a doctor yesterday who died in Louth. I think that's the first medical personnel that has died in Nigeria from COVID-19. Again, yesterday was just one of those days that it just seemed like the Grim Reaper was around. So many people died, and my condolences to everyone who's lost someone. It's hard, it's painful, but we just have to keep going. I will talk about handling grief, as I said, in a minute. Tomorrow is Money Friday, so I don't really want to talk too much about money, but Africa, my eye is on Africa. There's so much that, because now the developed countries, developed world, the G20 are saying that they think if this pandemic gets to Africa, it's going to destroy the whole place. I'm like, mind the developed world first. You're the ones suffering now. Leave Africa alone. But apparently, they've suspended Africa's debts for temporarily. They've given $11 billion in grants to 32 sub-Saharan countries. Where is that money? I always worry when they say they've given money to sub-Saharan Africa, because I'm thinking, where on earth is the money? Who's benefiting from all this? So let's keep our eye on it. I know we're all looking at what's affecting us directly, but we also have to hold our leaders to account as well. Okay, I'm just going to finish off today by talking about how to handle grief. So grief, it's a very difficult topic, because when people lose people, time is an illusion. Everyone is going to die at some point, but we all want to live a long, happy life, a long life where you have been able to impact the lives of others. It's a very difficult topic, but it's one that we have to talk about, where you have impacted the lives of others, where you have made a difference. So we all want to, to be making an impact, and every day should be spent doing something that you are happy doing, not spent in sadness or sorrow. But when the inevitable happens to people that we know, how do we grieve, and how do we reach out to those who are grieving? I experienced this in the last day, and it hits you suddenly, because you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is not happening. This is somebody that I just saw just now. We're just laughing and hanging out, and all of a sudden they're gone. So it's, first of all, again, when I talk about acceptance, it's happened. So what do? Allow yourself to feel. It's okay to feel sad sometimes, because sometimes I know I talk about being positive and speaking positivity at all times, and I get that. It's important to be positive, but it's also important to accept where you are. So if you feel a sense of loss and a sense of sadness, and you feel like crying, by all means do so. It's how you feel at that point, and it's okay. And if somebody around you is going through that, there's no need to tell them to, don't feel that way or stop crying. It's quite annoying. Allow them to feel the pain that they're feeling at that time, and let them sort of get through it. Also be careful what we say to people who have lost people or who are grieving. I know it's many times we're trying to be good and trying to be supportive, but I think a bit of silence goes a long way. Sometimes we have a need to fill the empty spaces, but sometimes those spaces don't need to be filled. So you don't have to say anything. If you're obviously now we can't be with them, but if you're on a video call, maybe a bit of silence, say, just be there and just be a bit of silence and say, I'm so sorry for your loss. I don't know how you're feeling, because you don't know how they're feeling. So saying to someone, I can imagine how you feel, is quite offensive. So because you cannot imagine how they feel, because you're not feeling that at that point in time. You may have felt it before, but you're not feeling it at that point in time. So don't say you know how they feel. Just say that I'm sorry you feel this way. I can't imagine how you feel. I cannot imagine how you feel right now, and I'm really sorry for your loss. Is there anything I can do? It's another good question. And they usually will say there's nothing you can do. Just reaching out to them and texting them and saying a quick hello from now and again is useful as well. So grief, there's various stages of grief, as I say. There's the initial shock, the anger, the denial, the bargaining, and the acceptance. Everybody has to go through those phases. So it's a difficult time. That's why I came on late today, because I just had to take myself before coming back online again. So that's grief. If you have any questions about that, if you've lost anyone, if you're struggling at the moment and you need some help, there are resources out there. For the United Kingdom, there's an organization called CRUSE. It's called CRUSE, and they're very good, and you can give them a call, and they're able to sort of support you through any feelings of loss that one might be suffering. It's a difficult time, but we are all going to be okay. We are all going to be okay. And as Captain Tom Moore said, tomorrow will be better. That 100-year-old man who did got 13 million for everyone, he said, tomorrow will be a good day. Tomorrow will be better. It will all be better tomorrow. So yes, it will be better tomorrow, and today will be a good day as well. Finally, there was a question that I was asked online, which was around someone being worried to go to the care home where they work because of the risk of COVID-19, and also the fact that they are on antihypertensives, diuretics, and they're asthmatic. There are quite clear laws in the United Kingdom of when you can be shielded. Being shielded is that you stay home for 12 weeks. They give you a letter, and that letter entitles you to carry on getting paid at work. Some people choose to be shielded. They choose to not go to work, but they won't get paid. So that's a voluntary taking time away to say you don't feel comfortable, then you don't get paid. The first person that is meant to give all the support is your employer. Your employer is meant to look at the situation, make sure that you have the right equipment to work, make sure that you have the right PPE to work, and make sure that you're well protected. If you don't feel protected, you must tell your employer that you do not feel protected, and they have a job to protect you. And then, but if you are hypertension on its own does not confer you with the right to be shielded. So it just says to have strict social distancing. Asthma, if it's mild, doesn't confer you with that either. However, if your asthma is severe, so if you're on steroid inhalers and you're also on what we call a LABA or a LAMA, which is a long-acting beta agonist, if you're on one of the higher inhalers, then you are supposed to be shielded. And initially, the first time the letters went out, many of those people did not get the letters because it's coming on afterwards. So thanks for asking the question, Alfia. Have a look at your particular medication that you're taking. Have a look at your own history. Speak to your GP, because sometimes we miss people out who should be shielded. So have a look and then let's see. And Black people dying and Black people having lots of problems. Remember, I've always spoken about vitamins, always talked about vitamins. And I particularly talk about the ones that are evidence-based. I have a whole range. Vine Health has a whole range. Not all of them have the strongest evidence, but there are some that have very strong evidence. So things like vitamin D3. Every Black person at the moment who is inside their house and not going out, please take vitamin D3. Take vitamin D3 daily. You can have we have 1,000 units preparation as well. For me, I take 5,000 units once a week, and I just get it over and done with. I feel like I need that boost. So take a vitamin D3, because vitamin D deficiency leads to a lot of problems. It's been implicated in worsening chronic diseases. So worsening heart problems, worsening hay fever. You get the aches and the pains and all of that. So you need to be on your vitamin D3. There are other vitamins that are also evidence-based, things like folic acid, vitamin B, folic acid are all evidence-based. No, D3 just means it's a bit more, it's more the more absorbable type of vitamin D. So it's not nothing exotic about it. It just means that you get a whole lot more into your system with the D3 preparation. So for vitamin D, on its own is a blanket name, and there's different types of vitamin D. Most people get vitamin D from the sun. Unfortunately, with darker skin, we just don't seem to convert it enough, and we don't have enough. So most Black people are vitamin D deficient, and the NHS does not test routinely for vitamin D at all. So we advise everybody to just take vitamin D every day and be done with it. Don't bother asking for a test. What's the dosage? The dosage varies. The average dosage, I mean, when you go to the places like Boots, you get ones that have 400 units or 800 units. Those are quite small. I generally tend to start from 1,000 units for, Black people. I'll say a minimum of 1,000 units a day, and just take that ongoing. For some people who are really deficient, they might want to front load it. So if you're lucky to have got a test and you're very low, they might give you 20,000 units once a week for 7 weeks, and then ask you to have a maintenance. If you don't carry on, it will go down again. You'll start having symptoms again. You start having the fatigue, the pain, the generalized aches and pains, the depression, poor mood. It's just all sorts of things, is implicated with vitamin D. So you can either just take 1,000 units every single day, or you might decide to be like me and maybe take 3,000 units twice a week, or 5,000 units once a week, and just carry on taking that. But it's been implicated in so many things, and I don't want to talk about the COVID study, but there are, because it's not yet proven. But vitamin D is just, I know that I make it, so obviously if you buy it from Vine Health, it's great for our business, and we're happy for that. But even if you don't buy it from Vine Health, you do still need to buy vitamin D, and you need to have it. We're able to ship within the UK at the moment. At the moment, we cannot. We used to be able to ship to the US before, and we used to be able to ship to Nigeria, get sent to Nigeria before. But because of this time that we're in, we're not able to guarantee that we can get it there on time. So we normally give, we ship within the United Kingdom. I've been prescribed 2 bottles of vitamin D Thorens. I'm not sure what Thorens means. D3, you mean? Per week. Is that sufficient? 2 bottles, we have to be more specific about the dose. So is it 800, 1,000, 3,000, 10,000, 5,000? There's different doses. So if you're specific about the dose, then I'll be able to say. And it also depends on your particular situation. Just load yourself with vitamin D. You can get vitamin D toxicity. So obviously you don't want to be taking 5,000 units every day, but you want to be taking at least 1,000 units daily, or taking 3,000 units twice a week. So order your vitamin D, and we can sort of send that out to you. Supplements are important. We don't make it naturally. You cannot eat food to get vitamin D. You cannot. There's nothing you can do. You just have to have it. You have to take it externally. For other vitamins, vitamin B is also very good for things like your memory as well. So I would say if you have, if you want to boost up your memory, take vitamin B as well. Some people take omega-3 acids, but I say if you eat lots of oily fish, then you should be fine from the omega acid point of view. But if you don't eat oily fish, then you should be taking vitamin omega oils, omega-3 supplements. So things like sardines, they're quite good. Really oily fish, Titus, if you want that. But if you're not eating that, then omega-3. The supplement world is gone like mega. People are supercharging their health by optimizing their vitamins. And also vitamin C is quite good as well as an antioxidant. And people are saying, well, have your vitamin C. It does help with sort of, vitamin C is quite helpful. 25,000 units, or so if you're taking 25,000 units, that means you're taking 25,000 once a week, and you're taking that for 7 weeks. Yeah, that's probably because you have been found to be very vitamin D deficient. So if you're very deficient, Then you will take a very high dose like that for 7 weeks. And then after that, you'll be advised to go on the maintenance dose every day. You have to continue, because some people will take vitamin D at that high dose for 7 weeks, and then they'll feel better and they'll stop. And then they won't take it again. And then 6 months later, they're back to square one. So when you finish your 25,000 units once a week for 7 weeks, I think it's for 7 weeks for you as well. Then after that, you have to continue taking it daily. So with someone like you, then you can just go to 1,000 units every single day after you've completed that. And you find that you just feel better in yourself, you know, you feel stronger in yourself, you feel better. So if you take vitamin D, I always say to everyone, vitamin D and vitamin B, just take those two, even if you don't want to bother your head with all the other things. And we do have vitamin B. Vine Health does vitamin B as well. Yay. So that's good. And we have vitamin D. Right. Thank you. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I will carry on going until we beat this COVID-19 pandemic, and we will, and it will pass. And we'll be able to look back at this time and know that we've survived and we've thrived. You know, we thrived as well during this time, and we'll be closer and love each other better for it. So send out some love to someone today. Forgive someone today. You know, you don't have to be best friends. Just give out some love. Call someone. Be supportive. Protect your own mental health. Allow only positivity into your space, and just live your best life every day. Thank you so much again, and I will see you tomorrow for day 33. And we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I'll share that as well later. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.